Here it's just me today. My partner in crime, my soul sister, Angela, is off having a good time in wherever she is right now. So you get me, and if you're starting to tune in now, get your cute butt in here. If you're watching this later, welcome. My name is Jenna Lee, and I'm one of the co-creators of this segment, Spirit Guides After Dark, channeling your soul erotic questions, and a co-host of Erotic Spirit Podcast. So, Erotic Spirit Podcast is a podcast, quite frankly, on sexuality and spirituality and all beautiful things in between, helping to understand releasing of shame in this area, learning to love all parts of ourselves, and helping us heal from sexual trauma one step at a time. So, this podcast, actually, today we went live on, we go live every week, and our episode today that went live is The Desire You're Ashamed of Might Be Your Gift. Excuse me. And so this episode is tuned in to help us start to release shame around our desire so that we can actually figure out what it is that we want. So if you're listening here today and you're new and you're like, who is this person? I am a channeler. I am what's called a more conscious channeler. So I step into altered states. You'll see my eyes will stay open, but I am channeling, working with source consciousness and my true self and my higher self, dropping in to help answer whatever questions come in for today. I also host retreats. I also do a lot of work on embodiment, and I will get to more about that today so that we can start to see and tune more into our body. So welcome and thank you for joining in today. We are going to, as people are coming in, start to hit that like button, share it out, share the love. All you gotta do is hit that like button, and that helps. I promise you, that's it. So if you are liking what you're seeing, or you're just curious, even if you're curious, a little love will go a long, long way. So we are going to start to set the container here today, and that just means set an intention and allow whatever it is to come up for ourselves. And so just start to close and rest your eyes, or however you want to receive. And if you are open to receiving this today, here, this now, this transmission, if you're open to receiving anything at all, send a telepathic yes. Allow yourself to just drop into a moment of surrender, a moment of peace, moment of intention of love and yourself. And no matter what, there's an invitation for you to drop in a space of awareness. Drop in an awareness of anything that may flow in and out of your mind, any thoughts, any feelings in the body. Drop into a deeper awareness of all that is, so that you may finally choose to see what may be in your way of stepping into your true self in alignment. And so that you lovingly accept yourself at where you are, which is where we can finally choose to step into and choose a new path, when we lovingly accept ourselves where we are. Allowing yourself to just be seen in this moment as we open this container. Anyone who comes in for the live or who is watching this later, it is with deepest pleasure and love that we open our hearts and co-create this space together, co-create a magical space where we start to Step into a space of non-judgment for ourselves and then for each other. Have an open mind. Be curious. Be curious at things that come in. Be curious at what people say in the chat. Sending love out to all that is, as we are the containers to get to share and express the love within. Once we align ourselves and see ourselves as love, we get to create from present space instead of past. And when we step into that space, we get to share that frequency effortlessly with those outside of our space and container. Dropping in deeper. Dropping in deeper. With love. Feeling into the body. Letting yourselves just be in this moment. And starting to come back to the space that we're in here. Coming back to the room just slowly and at your pace. There's no rush. And when you are coming back to the space, maybe have an intention in your mind. Have something that you'd love to be seen today. You'd love to share today. And maybe you don't physically share that, but energetically, maybe you share that. Letting yourself be truly who you are, honoring all of that. And as you start to step back into the space, you start to come in and open your eyes at your pace. Come back. Come on back. Leave your eyes closed however you feel. This is your rodeo. You are riding it. I just get to be on this side. So, how are we doing today? Let me know where you are tuning in from. Yeah, let me know. Let me know where you at. Are you local? I mean, you don't know where I am. I'm in Arizona. Where are you at? What country are you from? Drop it in. Send some love. We're going to get this party started here. And feel free to send your love in. Feel free to send your questions in. Ask a question live. Tap the chat and drop anything in about sex, intimacy, pleasure, and spiritual connection. Favorite topics. Whatever's on your heart and mind, share it. Let this be a container today to release anything. Maybe you're just like, you don't have a question. You just have a something on your mind. And then I will share... when I say we, I usually co-host this with someone, so I'm used to them being my wing woman here. So Erotic Spirit Podcast website, which is eroticspiritpodcast.com. There's a tab called Spirit Guides After Dark. You can send an anonymous question in here and it'll come up where I get to look at it next time and see what comes in on the chat. So come on in. I know some of you guys like to watch the lives without actually stepping in. Step in, come on in, dive in deeper, set your intentions in deeper. This is a friendly space. It's just me here. And the energy and love of all that is. And we are today, what we are doing as a collective is breaking paradigms, breaking social constructs, breaking our own patterns and limitations by just setting an intention. That's it. You don't even need to drop in anything into the chat. Just drop into your heart And then we'll get this party started here. All right. I don't see anyone dropping any questions in, but that's all good. I got some questions queued up. You can just come and watch and enjoy the show. And we're off to the races here. So I want to share here this one question. So we have just queued up questions. I got queued up questions here, and I'll dive in. Just start to dive in here. See what comes in. How does sexual energy help anchor spiritual insight into the physical body? And so the first thing that is coming through and coming in is this just this interesting space about sexual energy, which is just energy, guys. This is a label that is made up for a construct to be able to understand what is being talked about, but it is just energy, and is not separate from the life force energy that moves through our body. And this connection into all that is just constantly flowing. When we start to tune in to our body deeper, when we start to feel safer and we drop into our body even deeper and recognize the subtle energies of the sexual energy, right? When we start to recognize there's this feeling inside of us that is moving in a different capacity, we're aware of this beautiful innate life force energy moving through our body, we get to acknowledge the love and beauty of all that exists outside of us, within us. So it actually allows us to tune in deeper to the energies of all that is, anchor that love in. And these are spiritual insights with and without words. Love is love and energy, and light is it just is. It's one of those I ams. It is literally, it just is. Okay. And when we start to recognize this frequency is just the truth of the innate universe, that we get to be part of that, and that is part of us, that is equal. It is not separate. This is spiritual insight without actual words. It is an understanding of us co-creating in this universe and moving and flowing within. And when we start to just seeing ourselves as equal to Source, Universe, God, we start to step into our creator energy, which is always there, but we start to remember and recognize this. And these are spiritual insights that just are effortless and flow beyond time, beyond dimensions. This flows within us, and we get to operate from that frequency. And spiritual insights flow in instantaneously, even download in multiples all at the same time, where we can remember our true essence of being creator gods and beings of love. And the insights run deeper than words can explain. It is the essence, when we are in the essence of our true self, the insight is just here in presence, and the acknowledgement of that presence within us goes beyond time. So just letting that drop in here a little bit deeper here. This is a deep transmission, guys. So if you're joining, talking about all that is, right, sexual energy. And now this drops into the physical body, as the physical body is a vehicle that consciousness flows through, in and out. it exists. It doesn't stop. It doesn't get stuck. It is only when we tend to the limitations that we put on ourselves that we say that we are stuck or we are blocked. But this insight and this energy flows throughout this physical body and construct of this beautiful dream simulation matrix, however you want to call it, is beautiful, a beautiful space. And the physical body here is an instrument of knowledge that gets to meter and tell us when we are unaligned. So if we are feeling in shame of sexual energy and our life force energy, we're feeling ashamed, and we hold that in our beliefs, in our mind, in our behavior and actions, and we do this consistently without change, without acknowledgement, without awareness, we actually start to get then what's called spiritual insight in the physical body, in physical form and potential pain in the actual body. And this is an indicator of some misalignment. So it starts actually at the causal plane, which is where karma is created. And karma is what we are not willing to trust or accept, and a loop of behaviors and actions and reactions comes from that space. So in this causal plane, when we start to stop trusting, when we stop trusting ourselves and we start to create from that space, this drops in. We have emotions that we suppress. We may feel shame. And all of these things build and create actions out in the world connected to our actions with our sexual energy, but connected to unrelated sexual experiences. We start to feel shame in expressing ourselves in other ways. And before we know it, all of that energy, all of that suppressed emotion starts to drop into the physical body as pain, as chronic illness. And this is knowledge for us. This is beautiful knowledge for us, where we get to see that as a symbol and an opportunity to understand deeper. It's beautiful. This is beautiful. This is where we get to make the change, and there's no permanent space. There's no point where energy is always permanent. There's no law that exists on that. Energy keeps moving, keeps flowing. So we have the capacity and limitless ability to shift the trajectory of our timelines, of our being, of our physical body. And that's what we get to do when we start to tune in to our sexual energy as well. That gets to be a barometer. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful space here. Wow, 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 wow. Dropping in deep here today, guys. Oh man, loving it. Whew. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. This gives a really good time to start tuning into the body more. So I'm gonna get to that in 1 second. You know, when you channel, it makes you thirsty. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But I take care of my vessel here. So I'm going to drop into a question here that is very dear and near to my heart. And I'm going to get to diving into this a little bit deeper. How does embodiment help with my sexuality? My sexuality, my sexual energy, all of the above. And so first I want to start out with, what is embodiment? I want to start out with this because embodiment is just really quite plainly being in your body, dropping in to presence. Now, I know that sounds it may sound a little funny because you're like, well, I have a body. I always have a body. How in tune are you with your body, though? How in tune are you in that body-mind connection? And how much is your body in the past? And how much is it in the presence? Now, I'll give you examples of how you can kind of start to pull this apart. So, do you ever have a reaction that is just so fucking quick? You didn't even the mic didn't even have a chance to drop. It just dropped and you reacted. And the reaction is not aligned with truth of the situation. Doesn't give any invalidation to your experience, because your body is feeling the experience as real and that it needs to react this way in order to maybe survive. There's just so many scenarios. This is just channeling in, so maybe it's relevant to some people here. But the body, when I say react, is react versus respond. React is like, we're here, we're in it. We're like, we don't give up 1 second and something just happens. Respond is usually, okay, I pause, I see what's happening. I recognize something maybe within me. I'm maybe feeling something within me. And I'm going to choose to respond in a way that is more in a state of peace versus react and maybe explode, or react and self-sabotage the experience. So that's something when we start to look at now and we start to drop in and say, okay, now I understand my body's in the past because I'm reacting on a dime. Right. That's the share a little bit more on how do I know? Okay. So let's go into this question and then embodiment even deeper here. So how does embodiment help with my sexuality? So a lot of people do not feel safe to express themselves. And this goes beyond sexuality. This goes way beyond. This is relative to everything. Some people do not feel safe enough to express themselves. They don't know that they don't feel safe, because I didn't know that. I didn't know that there was a correlation between my body felt like it was in the past, and I did not know that, but it was being driven by my nervous system, and I was in fight or flight. And so my expression did not feel like it was safe enough to actually be heard, to be seen, to be witnessed, because there were many cases in which I was not. And I had sexual trauma that happened to me when I was younger. And that is a big part of the body living in the past. And like, it's not safe to express, right? So it goes into so many things. There's all kinds of trauma that that happens to us. There's all kinds of experiences that is creating some sort of reaction or behavior or pattern that is just no second thought. So how does embodiment help? How does dropping into our physical body, being present here and now, help with my sexuality? Well, if I'm present in my body and I feel in my body, I'm going to move and not just quite frankly, not give a fuck what anyone thinks. It is none of anyone else's business. Now, when I move with intention and love, and I'm moving in a space of my truth and my body and presence, right? It's freedom. It's literally freedom. So, how does it help? It helps one to be their authentic, true self, to see their authentic, true self, not just to be, but to see it and witness it and take action on it and to love it and to actually see from a lived experience, because I always talk about embodiment in a lived experience. I get to live that reality. I get to live the reality of feeling safe and expressing and not caring what other people think. And that is freedom, baby. And of course, right, I say this with love and intention. Someone who is moving from that space and not operating in harm. Most likely, if you're feeling safe in your body, though, I'll just say, if you're feeling safe, you're most likely moving from a space of love and intention that is dropped into that, because the spaces from reaction are coming from trauma and pain and are filtering through that. And the experiences that we create from that space is usually mirrored in that reality. So if I'm dropped into my body and I feel safe, I love it, and I'm here and I'm present, and my body's not running through that scenario that happened to me 20, 30 years ago, I actually get to be present here and now. And I get to just play in this field of infinite possibilities in all things, including my sexuality. And then how this even extends deeper here, guys, is guess what? Your light of infinite capacity and flow gets to be mirrored back in your reality. So those around you get to see that. And we heal each other. We drop into remembrance of our true selves. And we get to remember to take that with us. So not only does it helps with my own sexuality, my own essence and me, but wow, just by being me, someone else may be activated to take action. And isn't that beautiful? Isn't that just a beautiful way to live? Right. I love it. How are we feeling here? I don't know how we're feeling today. It is quiet, but I'm telling you, it is not quiet, because I'm hearing it come through very clear here today, guys. There's never any missed opportunity. There's always presence. Yeah, there's always presence. And what I'm also going to do is drop in here for you. I have a free activation, and it is on May 19th. I know it's a ways away, but all you got to do is scan the QR code. It drops you to sign up for the free event. You get to see what it's all about, which is, well, if I break it down for you, embodied awakening activation. Break the loop and return to your body. You'll experience, if you feel like you keep repeating patterns, guys, if you are feeling like you are in this healing loop and it is never ending and it just keeps going, this is the event for you. This is a free 75-minute event dropping in to some tips that I have on helping you to return to your body, an embodied awakening. So sign up for that. It's free. You will get the live episode if you sign up for my email list there. So dropping in there, and that is tied into my new book coming out. Yeah, so you're not going to want to miss it if you want to hear more. Drop in there. Free event there, guys. Embodied Awakening. Yeah, I like to share this one last thing about this. What's inspired this event and also my book coming out is we tend to think that we need to keep healing because there's a construct out there and beliefs of a fix-it mentality. And this fix-it mentality is driven by so many belief systems, right? I can share my experience of like perfectionism and how I grew up and certain things that happened. That perfectionism and getting it right meant I was going to be seen, and that equaled success, and that was reinforced in many ways, and quite honestly, it was reinforced too in many ways where I was not getting it right and not successful meant a lot of times chaos. So bringing up this fix-it mentality because there are many experiences that tie us to what else is it that I need to do to heal? What is it? What is going on? When part of the step in the process, in the journey, is actually our body. What is our body telling us? We get the mindsets, we learn the mindsets, we reprogram, but where is our body living? And I know this through my own lived experience, experiencing PTSD and experiencing other things as well, and realizing that I was never present in my body. Let me drop in here. Hi there. So not being present in my body, I recognize that there is more to this journey. And so when I started dropping into emotions in my body and dropping into that's when everything really shifted for me. That's when it went from what else do I need to heal to how can I be in alignment with this truth? How can I just step into this new way of being, or this now remembrance of this true self? When I say remembrance too, because I feel like in this lifetime, I had all this trauma, as we all go through, and all these experiences that created these false paradigms and beliefs. And it's like, which way was up and which way was my true self? But my true self, when I say that, remembering my true self, my soul, my essence, my connection in mirroring source, God, universe, within me as within, so without. And being able to finally drop into this space was part of the journey. So I like to share all of that. That is here for you. Drop in. It is something that you're not going to want to miss. So all the beautiful stuff on embodiment, right? In dropping in more, dropping in deeper. I will say the deeper we drop into our body, I'll just add this, I'll like pop this back up. Dropping in deeper into the body can help us remember those subtle energy frequencies. They're always there. And we tune into this innate life force energy that is always there and running through. And it feels like bliss and ecstasy, guys. I'm not making this up. I promise you that I came from a space of I had a relationship at one point. I had a long-term relationship that I did not want to have sex. I didn't want to talk about the fact that I didn't want to have sex. I did not enjoy it when I did, and that was not very often. And now I recognize that I was always living in such a dysregulated way, and my nervous system was living in the past. So I say this from my own experience, that when I started to release all these things and tune in and feel the emotions, yes, feel the emotions and the pain, feel through it, not around it. You bypass that shit, you're missing out on life. This is not this energy that you get to experience. This is how I live. So how does tuning in to all of these things in the body impact us? We get to experience bliss and love energy flowing through us consistently. So who does not want to live in that space? Can I get an amen? Right. So you get to feel the energy that is always there, but now the noise of the past in the body moves out, so we can witness the truth of this present moment and witness these subtle energies flowing through us. Yes, beautiful. Good evening. Good evening. Just sharing out my talking about a lot of things here and talking about embodied awakening, this live event I have here coming up next month. So tune into that, drop in here, having fun here on this Thursday in April, dropping in deep and spicy here, guys. Living it up. Love it, love it, love it. I love you guys just dropping in like that. Like just saying, hey, hey, hey. I love it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you're not subscribed. Just do it. Why not? Just do it. Okay, so where else are we going? What else are we doing today? I have a question here that is really interesting. Unless I'll drop a reminder here. What while I ask that, I'm actually gonna drop up the other question I had. What questions do you guys have? What things do you want to hear about? We have some very interesting topics coming up from our own experience. And then we have some special guests queued up over the next few months on the podcast. So, but these are specialized in certain areas. We have actually we have a guest coming on to talk about the prostate and all the fun things there. And these are the things that I know very little of, and that I'm also interested to learn about as a woman open to sharing absolutely that space with a partner. So lots of stuff coming in. and so much to come here. So if you're not tuned into the podcast, I'm going to just drop up the website here too. It's eroticspiritpodcast.com. Erotic Spirit Podcast is on all the major platforms, guys. Go subscribe to YouTube, because then you get to see all of the other events that go live too as well. So you get notifications on all those beautiful things there. So yes. All right. I'm glad we got some people saying hi tonight. So, I have fun on my own. I love Angela. I love spending my time and co-creating this space with her, but I will be honest, I have fun no matter who shows up. I'm just living my dream. Channeling about sexuality and spirituality, which is all one. And I don't know who on here follows or knows anything about Daryl Anka and Bashar. And it's so funny because, he's, like Bashar is a well-known, or Daryl Anka is a well-known channeler of Bashar and this higher dimensional AT. And it's really true. It's really absolutely true, guys. When you move into your passion and operate from that space and create from that space, and not just say, I have a passion, you go and you do it. The synchronicities that line up, you just can't fucking make it up. You can't make it up. I promise you. Guess what I love to do? I love to travel. I love to meet new people. I guess you can say we're almost not yet, but we're going to be eventually heading into Gemini season. And I celebrate my birthday all month long in May. And I love this. So I am creating and manifesting real time. I have been doing this. I completely uplifted my business and changed all these things to create an environment and space for me to do these things. So what did I do? I created a retreat starting in Sedona. I have that coming up in July. Feel free. I'm actually going to drop my website up since I'm promoting my stuff. I'm manifesting right now. And so check out my website, myawakeningwithin.com. But I have a retreat in Mount Shasta in July. I get to travel to these sacred places, co-create a container with beautiful, beautiful people. I don't care if one person shows up. I don't care. I get to create this life. It's taking these actions to do it, to show up, but then talk about it. So I have this, and I have these workshops that I've created that are also, or in California. So if you're in California, I have one in San Francisco this Sunday, and it's an inner child healing workshop, 4.5-hour workshop, where you get to cultivate safety within. There are tools that I've learned over the years to cultivate safety within my own body. And there's a lot of exercises that we tune into this workshop. And so back into creating the life of travel and passion. So creating this space, I will say, it does not mean that there is not pause or potential to self-sabotage ourselves. That is there. That is a fact and a perspective and an opportunity and a challenge. It's an opportunity to move through that self-sabotage, guys. It drops in like little spice nuggets. And it says, hello, I'm a little spicy right now. Remember this old memory of that. That's not safe to be seen. Okay, so I'll give you this. This is the first time I'm doing this workshop outside of the state I live in. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing this in San Francisco. Like, who do I know in San Francisco? Well, I started going to a couple of the fairs promoting myself in Northern California in the Bay Area. And I'm just like, it's happening in San Francisco. I didn't know where it's happening. I didn't book it yet. But I was just like, I'm really excited about this. Well, I was going to cancel it. I swear. I was going to cancel it, guys. I'm being really honest and vulnerable. I was going to cancel it. And then I said, universe, this was my last show that I did in San Francisco. And some people were showing interest, but no one was booking over the last few weeks. So I said, okay, I'm about to cancel it. I'm following my passion. I'm talking about it. I'm doing a lecture. Like I had a lecture on expanding consciousness through sacred sexuality or divine sexual healing. And I get to promote my stuff in that lecture. So I did it and I had some bookings. And then it goes even deeper because there is still, right. So I was going to cancel. And it goes a little bit deeper into how we promote it as well. So there is that, sometimes you don't know how to promote things and market it, and you learn along the way. And then you learn sometimes you need help on these things, and it takes time to test stuff. And it could be, all sorts of business stuff. But all that set aside, though, I also started promoting the event online to, my Facebook friends and to, my page, which connects into people all over the world, quite frankly. I don't know where people are following me from. And so I got some inquiries when I started posting it on like, oh, I'm in San Francisco. So follow your intuition, guys. Trust that. If you're like so excited, which I'm so excited about this workshop, do it. Formulate a plan, but also take the actions to help support that plan, because there's one thing in saying, I'm doing a workshop and that's it. I list it on my site and that's it. And there's all these other actions that are aligning with that. And some of that is business. So I do understand, like I have a business background, not to get into that, but I do. But there's opportunity. There's opportunity when you're passionate about something. Do it. And even if you see a hint of self-sabotage, acknowledge it. This is a loving part of ourselves. When we show ourselves compassion and kindness, even to the point of time at which we know is not in alignment with our true self, and the point of potential self-sabotage, when we step into kindness and compassion and soften in, we break the loop of that fight or flight. Even if it's just by an inch, even that inch is enough to see out of the tunnel and step into and actually see truth lighting the way. The truth is lighting the way. All we need is a little light to see it. And so the compassion softens that. The going the hard on it, like, I should have done this. You can do it. I've done it. I've done it many a times. And guys, it does not help. I have found it does not help. Maybe it helps some people. I don't like to live in a fight or flight. I love to live in a space of peace and a resonance of acceptance and love. And maybe it helps people for like a short term, but I believe in the long term it adds to burnout. Yeah, I believe it adds to burnout. So this is something where I can confidently say that I did myself for a very long time in my corporate career, and it led to fucking burnout. So I've learned these tools and tactics, and it goes back to, I still have it up on this site there. So Embodied Awakening, this event in May, sign up, register for free, go to my website if you're not sure. But yeah. Going back in, dropping back in. Guys, follow your passion. I know this has turned into like a spiritual conversation or concepts. And ultimately, spirit, our higher selves, and source and universe is helping to guide us into this remembrance that we came here to remember ourselves through love and passion and excitement. And yeah, we've gone through challenges. I've gone through challenges and trauma. But it's the contrast of that, of which then I get to see and experience it outside of that space and say, wow, I made it through that. I went through that. That doesn't define me. That's not who I am. That's not my identity. But I believe that we are remembering our ascended mastery consciousnesses, our ascended consciousnesses, dropping into that space and flowing into that space of remembrance into this lifetime. If we so choose, we can choose it. So, all right. Well, I still don't have any questions I've dropped in. Had lots of hellos. Thank you there, my dears. I appreciate you for dropping in all of your love. We're on a couple different channels right now. So just to call out, because you may be watching on one or, whatever it is, we're on the tubes of the U. So we don't get, I don't want to say shadow ban like is a real thing, but we're on there, Erotic Spirit Podcast. We're on the Books of the Face, Erotic Spirit Podcast, and My Awakening Within right now. So we're building up our TikTok presence. Is you have to have 1,000 followers to go live. And yes, so working on that there. If you came in a little bit later, I'm not going to repeat it too much in case you've just been in and out, but the desire you're ashamed of might be your gift. That is the episode that Angela and I, co-host the podcast of Erotic Spirit Podcast, have dropped today. Wow. Like, go get it. This episode, we get deep here, guys. We get deep because we talked about last episode how desire does not make you low vibration. Low vibration is just the concept of hierarchy. And the truth is that one is not more than another. There's not one thing that's better than another. Everything is all equal, is all based on perspective. So there is a concept in the spiritual community that our sexual desires specifically are low vibration. And maybe sometimes it's not said in that way, but I've had conversations where people that have gone through Kundalini rising, say, for example, I've heard people sometimes say, that there were blocks that were being cleared. And so their sexual energy was high, intense, and they kept on visualizing the energy moving up and moving up and moving up. And it was really interesting because at the time I didn't think of it, but my first reaction when I had my Kundalini rising was, let me dive in. Let me see, what is this about? What is going on? What's happening? And to just be in it, to just be present in this shit, guys, is so important. And there's no hierarchy of something being less or worse. This label is what is exclusive, makes exclusivity acceptable in society. We just do it in different ways. And so there is, that is not to say that what may be perceived as some sexual desires as being harmful or causing pain without consent. All of those outside of that paradigm, because I believe that those are not even true desires. What's coming in right now is that those are desires filtered through pain and distortions of reality that is so consumed in darkness of the mind and is overcoming of the mind and body, living in that space, consumed in that space, that one is operating in that space and creating from that space, and then therefore projecting pain onto someone else. So that is not what is being talked about here. This is pure loving desires. All of them, there's all love, right? No, there's no harm there in someone else. It is all from love. But today, go check that out. You're not going to want to miss that there. And then would love to have you sign up for our newsletter. Tune in, go to eroticspiritpodcast.com. Sign up for a newsletter so you see all the fun stuff that's coming out. We got some good juicy stuff coming out. If not, if anything, just subscribe to one of the platforms. We're on all the major platforms. Would love your support on Tubes of the You. Would love your support in subscribing there, and would love to create some interesting things for people in the future. So if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, go subscribe there, or follow along on the other platforms that you can tune into the podcast. We have, I think, 25 episodes live. You can binge watch it all. You can watch a few, however it is. Come support us. Leave reviews. Your feedback is so important. Leave reviews, comment, review. We got some good things coming out for you peeps. So I'm excited about it. And I'll drop in here one last time, my website. So you can check out my website here, myawakeningwithin.com. Come check it out. Come subscribe to my newsletter. I'm hitting up all kinds of places. As you heard before, Sedona, Mount Shasta, San Francisco. I'll be in Los Angeles. I'll be in Colorado coming up here end of April. I'm planning on doing some events there. So you're going to want to stay tuned. I am planning Hawaii next year, and I'm manifesting Egypt. So come on in. I'm open to doing retreats globally and around the world. So come tune in, subscribe. I facilitate a lot of spaces, and I have some beautiful courses coming out too online. More of a do it yourself at your pace, and things that are affordable. I offer all different kinds. I do one-on-one sessions, Akashic Source Code sessions. I did not mention that today, but I channel with Source. I help people into the remembrance of their source essence and being and true self. And I work with the Akashic Records as an embodiment tool, as a, hey, where did you learn this belief system, and how can we help you rewire your nervous system? So you can do one-on-one sessions with me if that calls to you. And if not, do come subscribe to my newsletter on my website. Lots of stuff coming out, lots of free stuff. If you've not seen it, if you're just coming in now, Embodied Awakening QR code still up on the site. Free space, 75 minutes in May. You're gonna wanna see it. Yeah. It's always such a pleasure hanging with you guys. Such a pleasure. Yeah. So we're here weekly, guys. Come tune in Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Come hang. I'm having fun. You come have fun too. All right. Well, sending my love and light out.